if you prefer to receive tax incentives for adopting ESG good practices instead of mandatory ESG practices and a fine if you don't adopt them, keep watching this video. Welcome to the channel. My name is Lena Sakai. I'm Green Business Post editor. And today we're going to talk about this way of dealing of incentive for companies to engage into ESG topics in events. Association representatives, some other professionals, they said they believe it's necessary to the ESG practices to be mandatory, and if companies do not adopt them, then they should be punished. And I'm certain that it doesn't work because I wrote a book about failures in ESG practices that got companies negative results, financial results, negative reputation results, and execution results. So I'll bring today this article so you can see and understand why the other way, the tax incentives, is better because it already exists and it works. But it has there are some other arguments that the other side uses and they execute wrong. For example, financial managers use this study of Harvard Business School to support their thesis on ESG fund investments. This study, they monitored the performance of 180 companies in the US and for over 18 years, and the companies voluntarily adopted good corporate sustainability practices, and their performance results were superior to 90 companies that had no concern for global problems and future generations. They use this study, but they execute in the mandatory way. So the factor of voluntarily factor of the study, it's not in the execution, and because of that, the results changes. Instead of being these good results, we are seeing negative results in Europe, the energy crisis, a crisis with the agriculture sector, and in my book I put 5 cases of failure. So we work with ESG Plus. We're bringing back this voluntary adoption of good corporate sustainability practices. We believe this is the better way to seek positive performance instead of creating this non-friendly environment of punishment. We believe that this way of voluntary and these tax incentives, you create a more friendly and inviting environment for companies to engage on ESG practices, rewarding them instead of punishing. Another factor that they are not considering in these mandatory ESG practices is the context of companies. Most of the companies, they are small and medium-sized enterprises. The majority, vast majority of them are in this small and medium size. And they fail to practice ESG because they are in the survival mode. They're surviving. They have their own problems with business model, with clients, with process, with leadership, and they have to solve those problems first before they can be able to practice to contribute to positive social and environmental impacts in a professional way. Let's understand it better. For example, when a company, small, medium size, they have their own initiatives like recycling, for example. They can have recycling in their company, but as they are surviving, they have their focus is, for example, they bake cakes. They bake cakes has nothing to do with recycling. It's not their operation to recycle. They recycle in parallel, and the leader, the workers, managers, they are focused on selling cakes and baking cakes, and they recycle like the way they know, like they separate the residue, and then they pay to recycle some other company. But in that process, they don't know how much they recycle, how much residue they generate, and if that recycling material is really going to be recycled. So that professional way of working the impact, the environmental impact, they are unable to do it because they don't have the time, they don't have the team, the professionals, and they need to focus firstly in their survival. Because if they do not survive, it's going to be a negative impact everywhere. Workers losing their jobs, their rent, the entrepreneur losing the rent too, and the society losing a solution, excellent cake, for example. And that's why we work with ESG Plus. That's we discuss and disseminate the content and knowledge on ESG practices, and entrepreneurs, business managers, leaders, they have their freedom to decide how and when and which the priority of practices and which practices they're going to execute and execute their way. Because with this diversity of practices, we can all learn new practices, better ways to do things instead of a pre-established practice. Another observation, ESG Plus has the first tool, ESG Plus Express, a simple and quick tool for any manager to answer the questionnaire of ESG topics organized in an order, uh, which helps companies to survive, so sustain their business, then professionalize all the processes, their leadership, so that they can impact better professionally. They can hire consultants, qualified ESG professionals to do that job and help them to impact in a more relevant way. So let me show you the tool. So here you can see it's the tool page, and here is the logic we follow. Sustain the business first, so then they can professionalize the process, the leadership, the team, and then they can be able to, when the company is like working by itself, because now it has processes defined, then it can hire professionals to create their impacts, to work their impacts better. Here we have the ESG topics organized in the sustain, the professionalize, and the impact. In uh, each topic, we have four best practices, so the managers can identify which ones they have, which ones they don't, and any manager can answer that. This is the questionnaire, and in the end, everyone receives the results, and they can put the results into this gaming board that you can print and put into your wall, so that the leader and your whole team can keep up and see every day what they need to improve. And you can even evaluate your competitor and compare them with your company and play a game and play like top trumps, comparing the topics with the competitor, the same topics. And after you have experienced the use of this tool, you can collaborate with the community and uh, leave your experience in our official page. If this is the kind of content you're looking for, subscribe to our channel to receive more recommendations. So what do you think? The tax incentive is better, or the mandatory pre-established ESG practices is the one you prefer? Leave your opinion here so we can see what the community is thinking. If you think this content was useful somehow, support our channel for free by liking and sharing this content with someone that might benefit from it. And don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter because the social media not always deliver the notification and we can deliver better by email. This was the content of today, Green Business Post, Responsible Impacts for Sustainable Communities.